just showing you the air filter that we've got courtesy of RamAir. So the guys at RamAir have also given us a discount code, which I'll put below, so you can go and get yourself a discount if you want to get yourself a RamAir air filter kit. So what are we going to do? Well, I've looked at the instructions, and it says I need to remove the radiator and everything. I want to try and get away without doing that. So I'm going to try and take the ECU clip off, the clips off the ECU, then remove the ECU, then get the box out, remove the cold air intake, and try and skip some steps. Then we've got the mass airflow sensor back here as well. So we're going to give it a go, see how we get on. What's the worst that can happen, eh?
So first things first, I disconnected the battery just to be safe. Obviously I'm working down near the starter motor, I didn't want to short anything out, so got that one off. Then there's a little spring clip on the side of the ECU that lets this front cover come off here. Take that out. Now it said that there should be 4 T25 bolts holding my ECU on. There was only 3. So I've undone those 3 anyway, pulled the ECU forward, you can see there. Then I moved on to the mass airflow sensor Jubilee clips, so 2 7mm loosened. So anyway, now I've disconnected the mass airflow sensor. I'm taking that cold air scoop off. Again, these plastic clips are so annoying, so make sure you've got plenty of those when you're putting stuff back together, because you're going to break them. Then I had to get a little pick just to wedge behind to pop the mass airflow sensor off the turbo crossover pipe, because I couldn't get it off, there wasn't enough wiggle room. And now I start the dance of trying to get the airbox out. Now it is possible, just lots of backwards and forwards, and it does come out eventually. I started fitting the new RamAir ECU holder, but I came across a problem.
Okay, so I've had to nip and get some longer bolts for the ECU holder, which is fine. Now I've got some longer bolts, so let's get the ECU bolted in. Then we can get the cone filter assembly put on there, and she's done.
So this is me just fitting the case to the cover of the ECU holder once I'd bolted up the ECU to the brackets, and get it in position. So I had to take a clip off the harness, which left this part of the harness exposed, so I've just wrapped it with some electrical tape for now. I will get some proper harness tape and wrap it all back up properly later on. So now we're on to the cone filter assembly. So got the elbow here that sits onto the cone filter, attached with a Jubilee clip. I'm not doing any of these up tight, I'm just sitting them there just so I can be happy that everything fits together. I won't be able to put it all in one piece, so it's going to have to come back apart anyway. Then the MAF sensor fits into the end of that elbow, obviously making sure it's going in the right direction. Now the biggest benefit of these aftermarket induction kits is the increased airflow. You can see here this is the original crossover pipe to MAF sensor and it's rigged. Now this lets it flex when the engine moves. Now if I show you the aftermarket one here, you can see it's nice and smooth. Now the benefit of it being smooth is it means the air, when it's pulling through, does not get caught up in the ribs. When it gets caught up in the ribs on this, it causes vortices, which makes the airflow slower and hotter. And then lastly, we've got the silicone hose onto the back end of the MAF sensor. So that's it, that's how it's all going to go together. Let's get it on the car. So we start by hooking up the new silicone hose to the turbo crossover pipe. That's obviously already got the MAF sensor attached. After we got that one lined up nicely so that we make sure the plug matches where it needs to be, we can move on to the elbow. So we now bring the elbow and the cone filter in. Again, this is all loose so that we can move it around nicely, but we just get it lined up roughly where we want it. Once we're happy with where it is, we'll tighten it all up. Again, it's just 7mm, or in this case I use a posi drive screwdriver. And don't forget to plug your MAF sensor back in, because that would not be good.
Right, so there we go. RamAir ECU down there, holder, with the crossover pipe there, and then into the silicone hose, through into the mass sensor, silicone hose into the RamAir Induction Kit. So, well, yeah, RamAir air filter. So all that's left to do now is reconnect the batteries, give her a start, make sure she runs all right, and then that'll be it for this video. But yeah, let's see if we can hear any induction noises, even on tick over.
Well guys, that's it for this week. Thank you very much for joining us again. Please, please, please give us some ideas of the next things you would like to see done. And don't forget, follow on our Instagram, The Real Silverback. You can see all updates on there, and they come a lot more frequently than the videos. So yeah, see you next time.